Well, hi there, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy VII. I just started uploading Part 8 to YouTube. It says it should be done in about an hour, so I took a quick 5-minute break to gather my thoughts, and I'm just gonna keep on rolling. Now, we'll be coming back to this area before too long, actually. I think maybe we'll do it right after we finish the Coral Prison. It will be the first available opportunity. And that is, so we'll be coming back to these beaches. The reason being, I believe this is where you can learn the enemy skill Mighty Guard, which is just like the quintessential enemy skill that you should just be using. Fire's going to be not right here, but, you know, it's still the hit all, so whatever. I just, like, these are not obviously an especially threatening enemy, but, like, the smaller one can spawn smaller ones, yet still. As far as types of enemies go, these can be incredibly irritating, I think, many people. But in any event, yeah, so we need the manipulate materia because, yeah, Mighty Guard is a... Actually, I don't believe Mighty Guard's right. I think it might be Big Guard. I'm not positive now. I'm having a little bit of a... I'm questioning myself here, but it's definitely one of the two. Kind of leaning towards Big Guard now. At any rate, this thing, it's shell protect, although, gosh, do they call it protect in this game? They might not. But anyway, it's the physical and magic protect, and haste, which is definitely the crucial one, the crucial component. But yeah, it is absolutely, the sooner you get it, the better. And I'm going to make sure that whichever character I'm going to cast the thing on has both enemies' skills equipped. Really, frankly, it's not strictly necessary, but when you get the third enemy skill, it would probably be wise to give it a, give it the Big Guard. You know what? Probably. Oh, never mind. I still have low magic or low mana. That's right. I was planning to, rather than get robbed 200 gil for an instay, I was gonna hop into a tent, which I guess I still haven't entered an actual the next zone, so I guess good remind. All turned around. Yeah, why don't I? First off, I should probably say type. Rearrange things. I was gonna say I must have a tent because I don't think I've used one this run, and at the very least, you get that one from the Sector 5. So, I'm kind of inclined to say, I mean, you kind of make an argument for like distributing your things amongst your party, but I'm going to get more later. And as far as the party member who is going to be here for the majority of the game, definitely the sooner I get, you know, it'll just, yeah. I don't know why I'm trying to justify my decision. I feel it's pretty self-explanatory. I think in all my defensiveness, I might have just gotten myself turned around. Yep, that's 100% Costa del Sol. So, oops. Oh, the side attack. Yeah, getting those back attacks is just really nice. I don't think those were there's definitely like a bird type enemy that does cause petrify status effects, but I don't think it's those ones that do. I think it's a larger bird enemy. This old guy taking a break. That's some low self-esteem right there. I was going to say it was interesting that he's up here because, yeah, it is quite dangerous. There's plenty of random enemy encounters, and you'd assume him by himself, he'd get rolled by a lot of these enemies. But I'm guessing it's probably like, I don't know, maybe he lives in Costa del Sol or he lives nearby and he just avoids enemies. Like he's clearly saying, like, tried to tell I mean, the guy in black that people always refer to, obviously it's Sephiroth. Now that dragon thing, I think that might also be a contender for able to cast Petrify. I am going to definitely be doing summons, but I'm going to be prioritizing them on the characters that need to get their level 2 limit breaks, of course. Cloud is needing to take damage and pop his limit break. I'll bet you this thing's pretty close to dead, so we can... I don't know, hopefully it'll attack Cloud more. Actually, you know, while I'm thinking about it, I mean, I do still believe I'm in good supply of hypers, so really no harm in, now that my party's got full mana, save for that summon. They're all healed up, maybe get them a little angry, and I guess I actually am down to my last 3, so I'm going to need to make a little shopping list in my head. There will obviously come a point in the game where they will no longer be useful, and that's after you get the 2nd level. The 2nd level 3-1. I'm just going to double limit break here since the auto attack afterwards wasn't really enough for a kill. This should definitely give Cloud both of the last hits. And of course, like, we got this encounter like right when we popped onto the screen, but you can see in the distance there's a materia reactor. We are the next town we're going to go to is Coral, or kind of what remains of it. Some of what remains of it, because we actually are going to find more of its remains a little bit later down the road when we get thrown in the... Oh, that's embarrassing. Well, whatever, gives me a chance to Sled Fang. I know it sounded like a cope, and that incredibly was a cope, so that's probably why that's the case. But anyway, so yeah, we're going to be, once we cross this mountain pass, which is, you know, it's not super long, but we're going to be going down some, like, train tracks or whatever, or possibly some coal mine tracks. I'm not 100% on how it works. But yeah, so once we do that, we'll come up on Coral. And like immediately after that is Golden Saucer. And then once, you know, I think you have a pretty good run of the place the first time you're there, but there's really not that much stuff I'm gonna do. I'll probably go to, I think the Turtle, gosh, the name's escaping me at the moment, but Turtle Paradise, the restaurant flyers, there's one in there, in the Golden Saucer. I'm rather sure it's in the hotel. If it's not, I'm gonna look it up. But so I'll probably snag that. But then pretty much after Kate Sith joins the party, you can go to like the battle square and look at what then you get this, like, what's with those murdered guys? They look like they've been shot with bullets. And then one of them guys is like, I was shot with a guy with a gun arm. And of course, you know, they're like, wow, we only know one person with a gun arm. But of course, we are gonna soon learn. The circumstances that have resulted in Barrett getting a gun arm were also very similar to the circumstances that resulted in his once friend Dine getting a gun arm. We cannot enter at this time, but nor can we later, for the record. But you will see people leaving there with huge materia and try and chase them down. This is all stuff that's going to be starting right here with this bridge. You know, this is stuff that will be appearing in a cutscene. Yeah, there's nothing to do up here as far as I know. Well, no, I'm sorry, cutscene's the wrong term. In a flashback where we're going to be learning a little bit more about Coral. Because, yeah, one of the party members indeed has a lot of history here, and that is none other than Barrett. He's, yeah, got quite... Oh, wait. Why would I cast it for Cloud? That's ridiculous. Did I? Yeah, she was on Cloud. Yeah, don't need last hits on Cloud. That was silly of me. So, yeah, it's not, I can't blame it in every case, but, you know, when you're talking about something and trying to play the game at the same time, it can definitely lead to some minor distractedness. But, you know, Cloud getting a few last hits now, it's not really the end of the world. But so, yeah, there's nothing to do up here. So we'll just get back on track down the bridge. I think you do continue down the bridge as opposed to going in that lower area. Yeah, I could be mistaken, but I don't think. I think just like there's nothing of to do in that upper area, it's just there. I think it's the same is true further down there. All right, there's a few falling down the track segments we're gonna have coming up, and hopefully, if we do it correctly, there's an Eris weapon. There's a yeah, this is the enemy that can petrify. Though he will not be back attacking, because I did the. Although he was pretty slow anyway, maybe we would have beat him to it at any rate. Wow, seems pretty attack resistant there. Times like these where I wish I had my sense materia to clue me in on. I think he actually, I know the other birds are like lightning oriented. Okay, good. He does at least, if it doesn't look like he's weak to it, but at least he's not immune or strong to it. So it's of course not a huge deal to soft people after battle, but oh wait, are you not supposed to? So maybe I ought to have not pressed it, so I would have fallen. It's really not that relevant in any event. I think that the two items are it's the star pendant, which is completely garbage as far as I'm concerned, and then the Eris staff, which again, like I'm going to use her when they force me to in the Temple of the Ancients, and that's going to be the only time. So it's well, one could argue. I mean, it's a pretty good staff for this point in the game if you're running Eris, but who does that? It's like not only have I never gotten her her level 4 limit break, like I haven't even physically done the thing to get it, let alone teach it to her. I don't even know. I've seen like just on like a limit break compilation. Yeah, I will still try and see if I can't get it because items are items, and I think we should be getting a better Eris thing before. Okay, so yeah. I think we'd be getting a better staff by then anyway, but whatever. And I guess just to show the thing off, next time there's whoa, I'm falling down the tracks. If there are any more of them, I'm 100% going to jump because that thing is a star pendant. Yeah, not interested star pendant. Well, unless I whip it. Well, then since I have to climb up anyway, I guess it's a little humiliating, but I'm going to take the star pendant anyway. I'll really be thanking myself when I fight that poison boss and he tries to inflict poison on all 3 party members, but they're all bawling outrageous with their star pendants and take 0 poison damage. Just kidding. I'm probably just going to sell a whole lot. I'm sure there are bosses that do inflict poison, but that's kind of the thing is like, you're going to be getting. No, it's the lower path first, I think, to unlock the bridge. I'm pretty sure it is the lower path first. You need to do like some kind of like, you need to go one way, lower the bridge, then come back around. Where was I though? Oh yeah, if you like, even like for the sake of argument, like if whatever boss does inflict poison, it's like at the very least, like I think the stats would almost always be more valuable, and there are definitely stat negation things that I think could be wise to consider, but I really just don't think for poison. Like again, if it did poison and something else, then maybe we could talk. But it's like, especially when I get like that belt that gives me plus 10 strength, it's like that's a lot of strength, dude. Like so. If you're telling, if it's like, what do I get instead? Immunity to poison? Like, poison, just like the dot is not that much damage. So it's kind of, oh no, I did the wrong one. I goofed. So anyway, yeah, I chose the wrong one. I'm going to lower down the bridge at that gate thing they just pointed out. a little bit further down, I think I'm going to see if I can, I'm just going to show it off, but not steal the, it becomes like stealable Phoenix Downs. But yeah, I really do. There's not necessarily a ton of the scenes I can think of where you're just running through the world and you see the other party, but I kind of like that they kind of wouldn't be, you know, they're traveling in a separate party, but they wouldn't be that far away. And so, yeah, once we lower the thing, they're all going to be like, oh, thanks, and they run on ahead or whatever. So, which is, wait, yeah, I do. Well, this is going to kill him anyway, but I'm definitely going to Blade Beam whatever I see next. Yeah, these are the, honestly, as far as like getting the next level of Limit Break, these are 100% the kind of packs you want to see, are just like scrubby little mushroom guys that die in one hit, because they all count for kills, and you can just drop a summon or drop a lot of things that hit all, and usually they won't have much HP because they're such a large swarm. So we're gonna pop this lever, turn this, something should happen. And yep, we see the party run across ahead of us, because we still have some backtracking to do. And so I think, other than, of course, people might say, oh, you wouldn't want to do it because it kind of makes you not a, you know, it's kind of not a nice thing to do. But I don't know if really the thing is, I'm not sure what. I know obviously that the people present would probably get a negative reputation. Not Red, because he can't be on the date or whatever. But I think we're just going to leave it just because they're so adorable. But if you do it, you get like a large number of Phoenix Downs. Like, actually, I don't think it's going to be an issue, but I guess it could theoretically burn me in the way that it might push Barrett over the edge. But like, again, I don't think that's what's going to be happening here. I think that I've done a couple things that were minus Barrett as well. So, I mean, and I guess, you know, worst case scenario, I have not actually gotten the Barrett date in any of my playthroughs. I would still be somewhat devastated, to be honest, but, you know, not that devastated. I'm ready for the possibility that, you know, there was some mishap from, you know, that this guide wasn't quite right. That's actually one thing, since I'm pretty sure I'll be doing Golden Saucer in this current playthrough, or not playthrough, I mean in this current like episode sitting hour block, you know, because I'm gonna stop at around an hour. It says in the guide to bring Eris with you, in the guide to get the Yuffie date, to bring Eris with you, but I was looking at something else that like doing that would give you plus to Eris and minus to Tifa and Yuffie, and choosing Yuffie gives you plus Yuffie and minus Tifa and Eris. So and then no effect for doing Red. So I'm wondering why the guide would tell you to do that. It doesn't really seem to make much sense to me. So I'm going to choose to go rogue there, and I'm gonna, like, in Golden Saucer, I'm gonna bring Yuffie with me, because yeah, this way more, I'm not gonna say way more credible, but it's more recent or whatever, this thing, versus this guide that I'm following for the Yuffie date is on a rather like kind of older looking website, but webpage. But yeah, at any rate, you know, there's not too many more things that I actually have to do concerning the Yuffie date, so at a certain point it's going to stop playing my thoughts and I can just play the game normally. But yeah, there's a few more things, and, you know. Anyway, I imagine that with Barrett and Red to get their level 2s, it may still be a little while yet, but I think with Red, I've been getting a reasonable number of these 5 clusters and doing Chocobo summon shenanigans, which I think is definitely going to be racking up the count really quickly. I mean, this is 5. I did another 5 of these for sure, at least, so that's 10 right there. Oh, whoops. Yeah, I don't know. This is not the way to exit, but I'm just going to, you know, you check the branching paths as often. But, like, I don't know that there's anything down there. I think that might just be another, like, for flavor kind of thing. All right, I think this has been killing the bird enemies as well, so I think it should be just another 5 kills in Red's coffers. I think it's rather optimistic to think I'd be, unless I like, did some grinding or whatever. I don't know how realistic it is that like I'd have the level 3 by the time I get to Nibelheim, but I could at least be like in the ballpark. So I definitely, of all the characters I want to be, as far as I know, there's like nothing like hidden. But oh wait, is this the? Oh right, yeah. Gosh, this is something I could have almost overlooked. I'm sure I have in plenty of playthroughs, but you've done plenty for me by not complaining that I robbed the sources from you. I mean, the tents, just from a monetary standpoint, does just have some value to it as well. But those sources, especially, those are rather rare items. So this should get Red to kill the 2 birds, but probably not quite the dinosaur Komodo dragon guy. But and I don't think that the bear attack is going to quite put it over the edge, but it should be like some 1 auto attack or so away from it. Maybe I'll even let Red get it. Oh, well, I knew we were kind of low. I didn't realize Cobb was at 24, but that's good, because I was going to say there's no reason not to throw a heal here while he's waiting. God, if Red gets it before Barrett, that's got to be pretty emasculating. The level 2, that is. Alright, so now we can continue on our way. We've still got a little ways to walk. I think like we go to the overworld and then we like enter like a path to Coral, because we still have to like cross that bridge and some stuff like that. There's not much more. We're very close to what is left of Coral. Because yeah, they were some used to be a coal town, and someone was advocating for the proposition to put a Mako reactor there, and things went terribly awry. And it used to be, it seems like, at least a somewhat maybe not super prosperous or booming, but certainly like people had houses and jobs and stuff. And I think you're gonna see, again, I'm assuming you've probably seen this before, but if you haven't, I think you'll see that they're not doing so great in Coral. It's definitely one of the, we've definitely seen some impoverished cities so far. It's just in the Final Fantasy VII world in general. It's pretty, because I would say even in like an 8 or 9, well, there is still some kind of like poverty or some like people in, some kind of areas that are not so nice. I'd say they definitely have a lot more like kind of idyllic qualities to them. And there's still some places in 7 I'd point to where they're kind of like that, like maybe Calm would be a good example, or you kind of say like Cosmo Canyon, you sort of see as being an appealing place. But yeah, lots of other places where they're just like pretty run down, and like maybe they had a heyday, but this is definitely kind of like, even though there's like sort of a lot of industry with Mako and stuff, it feels like in a lot of ways kind of a world in decline, kind of. But anyway, we continue down the bridge, and there's a few other enemies you can fight other than bombs, but mostly it's bombs, and they will indeed suicide on you, so you definitely don't want to dilly-dally. It's really about dealing like, you don't, because like it's as you damage them, they will grow, so you kind of want to be, that's where auto-attacking can kind of, if you'll pardon the pun, blow up in your face. And also on your party. But anyway. Oh, if I could just get the... Yeah, this should do it. If he's... Yeah, good. It seems like the queue it's pretty instant in 7. I just did a playthrough of 9 very recently. And I was definitely noticing in some of the fights that it felt like, there would be a number, it's like from when you actually select it to when it gets cast it's a lot less instantaneous. Yeah, Barrett's rather infamous in Coral. He's definitely, a lot of people see him. He was definitely kind of one of the people who was saying, like, at a town meeting, was like kind of saying, oh, I think that trusting Shinra is a good idea. Might be like the way of the future, kind of. And obviously, seeing as how they're living in tents and in, like, you know, kind of a ruined city, like probably selling scraps or something, makes you think that things didn't go too well. So yeah, that one guy hits him and they call him a techno freak, which is kind of a weird insult. Like, I don't really know that it's kind of unusual to have a gun arm, but I don't know, given the technology this world that like the gun arm is really like, I mean, like a prosthetic. It's just a prosthetic, but it's a gun. Like, that's a little more sophisticated than a regular prosthetic. But like, I don't know. I just feel like if I lived in the Final Fantasy VII world and you know, there was all the technology there was, I wouldn't be like that blown away that someone had a gun arm. Especially when people are using such like oversized comical swords and stuff. Like, that would kind of seem a little bit more. I mean, again, it's a little unusual because only Barrett and Dine are the only people that we know of that have gun arms in this game. But at any rate, I was going to say nothing really worth buying, but that was in fact a fib because I used my last 3 hypers and I don't want to live in a world where I don't have hypers. So I'm going to see how many slots this has. I might still take it. Yeah, it's got 3. I think I'm just going to go for it. I might not equip it right away, but if I were to be selective about the materia I put on it, it could be pretty clutch. And then yeah, the carbon bangle is still inferior to my godlike set of Shinra betas that my boys are all rocking. I think this is the one of the tents here. You talk to a woman this is when there's like the meteor coming and they're like, oh man, I'm really sad the world's gonna end and all that. And then one of the women is like, I forget exactly what she says, but something about like her husband died. I forget exactly how, but she gives you the. That's right. But yeah, anyway, it's unfortunately, but yeah, she gives you the thing you need to get Barrett's last limit break. You know, I think it's in this room, in this tent. Now that I think about it, but yeah, you know what? I mean, I could. The one thing that would be worth knowing is if tent doesn't cure fury and sadness, because then I'd be more inclined to, even though it's more expensive, just keep the tent going, just so I could maintain the fury, so to speak, and literally. But in any event, I think that's all the stuff we want to be doing in Coral, so I think we can mosey on over to the Golden Saucer. That's the other thing that's kind of interesting about yeah, Barrett, you know, not only do the people blame Barrett, but Barrett in fact blames Barrett. Oh, I guess we definitely learn more about the hometown in a little bit once we get into the Coral Prison. But yeah, in fact, I forgot that we get the first part of the flashback right here, where he kind of. But yeah, no, see, we can see with like a picture like this, it's like, yeah, it doesn't look like they're super rich, but you know, looks like a pretty nice house and everything, and you know, definitely not. We're going to be visiting this exact area. This is actually the grounds which are now the prison under the Golden Saucer. But yeah, obviously, you know, by agreeing to get the Shinra reactor put in. Ooh, is this? I was gonna say no. This is not the first time we've seen Scarlet, because we of course saw that boardroom meeting in Shinra. But yeah, this is we haven't seen. Whereas we've seen like a decent amount of like Heidegger so far, we have not seen very much Scarlet, because she's definitely like, you know, appears in a number of scenes. But yep, obviously Shinra's going around trying to talk to small towns, and because they're not the only one. Obviously Nibelheim has the reactor, and we're going to. Not in this segment, but in a possibly the one after, I would guess, actually. We're going to be going to Ganago, which is in fact, it was a village that was, well, I mean, I guess I don't really know that it was, I mean, there's a ruined reactor there, I guess, and then there's very few people living around. So I kind of took that to mean that, like, you know, maybe it used to be a lot bigger if there was a reactor there, but then when either people got killed when it was destroyed, or, you know, people moved away when it failed or whatever. I'm not really sure if they're explicit about that, but anyway, yeah, that's this is kind of like how Shinra rolls, and this is where you can kind of understand like Barrett's like unrelenting hatred towards Shinra is the whole, you know, I think kind of the implications that like, no, the reactor only failed because it was, you know, not well built, or because Mako was volatile or whatever. It wasn't, explosion at the reactor. There we go. Said it was done by a rebel faction, but clearly, you know, it's just like still kind of, you know, it's sort of, I mean, I get how like evil companies or like evil military organizations would want to like do things like this to like send a message, but you'd still think like, because the reactor doesn't look like it's, well, I guess, I don't know, maybe the explosion rendered it unoperational, but you'd think it would, rather than burn the place down, you'd want to try and repair it, but I don't know. So it's kind of poor timing that these like super destitute like Coral is now just like a bunch of camps and poor people, because as we take the tram, we're about to see that, you know, it's not bad for everyone. There are some areas that are in fact rather thriving. I'm not quite sure what's going on with the sound. I feel like, I mean, this is clearly supposed to be like a cutscene type thing, but I'm not sure. I'm not hearing anything. Oh, there we go. Huh. I feel like it was supposed to have started earlier, but maybe it's like, oh, once you see the lights, it starts. I don't know. But either way, yep, everything's working. Everything's humming along now. But yeah, no, this is definitely kind of like, you definitely kind of see some like, you know, like Midgar is pretty technologically advanced, and Junon's kind of got some impressive stuff, but this is kind of, you know, definitely different than everything else you've seen. That it's kind of like sort of like, I'd say it's like most comparable to like a Disneyland type theme park or whatever. But yeah, it's funny that you just take a tram and it's like, oh man, all those people in Koro are living in tents and look pretty unhappy, and then you've got this happening. Yeah, in fact, this is the one of the few save points they charge you for. And you need the gold saucer points, like the gold points or whatever they're called, the GP. Yep, GP. And yeah, I think I'll definitely be buying some at some point, because you need to do the battle square. There's a few rewards here that are kind of worth it, but really the big one is Cloud's ultimate. You'd also, in theory, need to go here to race chocobos to level them up. But like, I'm hoping the fact I'm doing like this mod and stuff isn't going to affect. The last time I played, I followed like an RNG manipulation guide, so you can just capture them and breed them in a certain way. And so I'm hoping I can do that, because I'm not going to hate on the chocobo racing minigame too hard, because I don't think it's terrible. But when you compare it to a god tier minigame like the Final Fantasy VIII Triple Triad, or even frankly, like, I think Chocobo Hot and Cold in Final Fantasy IX is also vastly superior. But like, I think that the Chocobo system in this, like the racing and breeding system, it's serviceable, but there's nothing really that special about the racing. So I really feel like it's just a lot of grinding and just kind of ends up being tedious. So this is, of course, rather a ways down the road, but hoping that that RNG manipulation thing will still work, because that just saves you a bunch of grinding. But anyway, so yeah, Eris is trying to be like, oh, fine, if Barrett's gonna pout, I'm gonna try and be like, hey, Mr. Barrett, we're gonna go play, is that all right? And of course, you know, Barrett's a pretty emotional guy, and Really, yeah, I think he's mad. Oh, gee. Oh, wow. Those are some insights right there. Oh, yeah. Hopefully it makes everyone else jealous. And then I'll take red because... Oh, wait. Do you only take one? Oh, never mind. Then, yeah. Obviously. I really am not sure why the guide says to do arrows, because that would give you minus arrows points, which you're... Or plus arrows points, which I'm trying not to do. And it would also give you... Let's see, so Ghost Square is the hotel. I think I want to go here first. But so it also gives you... oh, what am I looking for? Not so much train of thought. Oh yeah, but it also gives you, yeah, the plus Yuffie points or whatever, so you would think you'd want it for both those reasons. So, again, I don't know if they don't know what's going on with that part of the guide. Oh, there it is. I was going to say I wasn't sure if this was the flyer or not, if it was... I actually don't need to rest. That, and I think they might charge you GP as well. Yeah, they do indeed. And we are, in fact, very broke when it comes to GP, but that's no problem. So we need to bump into Kate Sith first, and he is possibly in the Wonder Square. I want to say this is it. Yes, indeed. So Kate Sith is an interesting one. I've actually never ran him in my party. I think a lot of people don't really care for him because of his kind of unconventional limit breaks. And I don't know if I think his stats aren't bad, but I think they're also not the best. So I don't think and also he's kind of ridiculous. I think it's sort of like, you know, he definitely has a purpose in the story, and I'm not in any way anti-Kate Sith. It's kind of weird and kind of goofy, but, you know, again, it's supposed to be like some weird, well, yeah, no, yeah, I'm like, oh, it's supposed to be some weird toy thing. Like, that's an explanation. But anyway, the one thing that's kind of neat about him is that his slots limit break, you know, it's kind of, I think, rather hard to control. But if you learn what to do, there is an insta-win thing, which can be used on everything in this game, including the weapons. It 100% works on the weapons. It's actually, there's a similar thing in Final Fantasy VIII, where you can, where Selphie, her limit break, where she'll do these like slot reel things, and you can keep doing them over as many times as you want. But there's a very rare one called the End, and it's the exact same thing. It's the like insta-win button, and it just literally works on everything. And so you can just do it, including on the weapon in that game. So similar sort of thing. But yeah, in closing, they're going to put Kate Sith in our party here and force me to take him, but they never actually force you to fight with him. So I don't think we'll... Actually, no, maybe you know what? Maybe actually when we're getting accused of murder, I think we do have a random combat thing before we get thrown down, so actually we might see him there. But yeah, we unfortunately, we don't really have a chance, not that I even necessarily would, but we don't have a chance to go back to the beach, because now that we have Kate Sith, we have the aforementioned manipulate materia. And yeah, getting Big Guard, yeah, I'm definitely thinking it's Big Guard, not Mighty Guard. I think Mighty Guard is definitely something from a game, possibly even a Final Fantasy game, but in any event, I think Big Guard is the ability we want. But not relevant right now, not pertinent, because we need to hop into the battle square and see what's going on there. Hopefully there aren't a bunch of murdered people or anything. Oh no, he looks like he's alive. That's what? And you know, this is not the first time we've come across people getting killed, but this time it's not Sephiroth. It's a guns, not Sephiroth's style, as Cloud will tell us. We never use a gun, aka not his style. Wow, no way. And of course, this is definitely one of those classic wrong place, wrong time. And you're like, who is that man walking in here with a Speedo? That is none other than Dio. He is the owner of the Golden Saucer, in fact. And, you know, Cloud just tries to stick with the reliable Shaggy defense. It wasn't me. but you know, it looks really suspicious when one of your party members goes running away. So now they have no choice to flee. And unfortunately, you know, as luck would have it, they are fleeing into the battle square, which is not a good place to escape from. Yeah, I forget if we actually have a fight. We might just get auto-dropped here. Yep, auto-dropped. And, you know, he's big on ironic names, so this is called the Gateway to Heaven, even though this place is, you know, Coral Prison is quite terrible. It's never quite clear how he wound up in here. I mean, I guess he could have probably similar situation, like he could have stumbled upon bodies and gotten thrown in the pit as well, but yeah. Or the rest of the party for that matter. For the rest of the party for that matter. Yeah, not really, it's kind of just one of those things I think you just have to not think about it too much. So this pit down here, I was gonna say I'm not gonna go down, but I can still go. There's nothing down here. I can just go down for grunts though, just to. Although really, now that I'm thinking about it, I should probably get to where I'm going, so I'm not forced to use Kate Synth. So I'm gonna take that back. But so there's really nothing of note. But under normal circumstances, oh yeah, those things are so weird. Yeah, they can like, you know, that's obviously way more healing than you have health right now, so they can absolutely give you a full healing for free. They can also do offensive magic. But anyway, so I'm just gonna hurry along just so I can get the party I want. And apparently, so now the guide does say to take Yuffie with you when you confront Dine. So I will be keeping her, although I'll probably quickly swap in Red so I can take off his materia. But is this guy following me? Ha ha ha. Yeah. Add that to the list of things I don't necessarily recall from this game. Yep, he is absolutely following me. Yeah, and this is one of those kind of weird things. They all say the same thing. Including anybody says everything they say is a lie. Never heard of him, so fine, they have. And so yeah, that's the other thing. Southwest, so you know, and everything you say is a lie, so you want to go northeast, I guess. I didn't actually look at a guide before I started this, so I'm gonna be kind of just YOLOing it, but I think it'll be fine. If I goof it a couple times, then I might just alt-tab real quick and check a guide. But yeah, again, I think you just need to do the opposite, so you go like northeast. And if I don't get it on the first one, I should be able to get it on the second. Yeah, just hoping to skedaddle before I get mugged. You know, there's not too many scenarios that are that bad, but at the same time, you know, what if he steals my elixir that I need for those magic pots when I'm grinding at the end game? That would be most inconvenient. It is baffling he would do that. Like, I mean, like, you'd think that would be like deafening and like such. Oh, he shoots someone. Fair enough. That he was doing his like Barrett anger thing again. But I guess I don't know who that guy was that he just shot. Like, they don't say anything like he had a gun and he was gonna shoot me. He just like kills that guy that was behind the couch. Wild. It's how we do things in the Coral Prison, I guess. Indeed there was. And speaking of Scarlet, who we just saw in that earlier flashback before we came to the gold saucer. So yeah, this is the village fire he was talking about earlier when Shinra blamed the people, the good people of Coral, or like a rebel faction within, for the explosion, even though you know, again, sounds like there's no evidence for that. But yeah, so doing that, he's doing a really quite quick arm shake. Usually it's like a new one, actually. And he's doing the whole falling to his knees, like, no. It's a lot of shaking. So anyway, yep, they're going to try and hurry back to the village and see if they can save as many of their friends and family as they can. Up, and then that old guy just gets gunned down by Shinra soldier. They've got those, obviously they've got that stormtrooper accuracy. Yeah, and as soon as Scarlet, you know, gets on it and they get a good hit in. And yeah, he says, you know, Marlene's waiting for us because, yeah, we're, you know, I don't think they explicitly say it, but, you know, she clearly is not black and Barrett is, so you maybe could guess. But yeah, she is indeed Barrett's adoptive daughter, and Dine is actually her father, who he thought was dead all this time. But it turns out he just was being a deadbeat dad over in Coral Prison. Like, he's like the boss here. So, yeah. And so, yeah, we're gonna take Red along to take off his materia. And I guess I still think the Shinra Beta is the best thing we have going, so I might have to, my apologies, Red, but I'm gonna borrow that. The Spirit Talisman, you might, I mean, I hopefully won't be doing too many random encounters, but even still, you know, again, it might be good to give a choice item. I forget if any enemies in the desert use fire attacks. I don't know that it's especially common, so. But so anyway, I'll switch back to Yuffie. And we will find out if that Wind Slash was indeed a Yuffie weapon. And if it's, yeah, it was. Oh, it's a double growth one as well. Well, I don't think I'm going to be doing that many encounters, but I think I will just still opt for the more slots for the time being. Oh, that's right. I also got the W machine gun, which is double in long range. And only... It's lower damage. This is a real Sophie's choice. I think I am going to stick with the atomic scissors, though. It's an incredibly close choice. I will also probably be... Just because Barrett's going to be doing the 1v1 boss fight, I will be sure to give him plenty of summons, and so he can keep the long range. And so we'll throw the HP plus on him. Ooh, yeah, the enemy skill would be smart. That's what I should do. Then you can just hit him with a few betas. And let's throw some stuff on Yuffie just cuz. Earth. Let's see if we can do a, yeah, cure all. That lightning's pretty close. Might as well throw it on. I've got too many unused alls. Oh wait, no, good. I still got some Barrett space. So Oh, how do you organize the materia again? I always goof this up. I remember, actually the last time I did the last playthrough I did, I remember being like, how do they not have an organized materia button? Like, and I went through most of the game until I finally did look it up and bothered to look it up. And I think there definitely is a button you can press to organize the materia. I am just, well, no, now I've pressed every button, so now I'm beginning to wonder. Oh, and shoot, and it looks like I did some mod things. There we go. Battle mode enabled. I assume you can, since it's screen capping, you, the viewer, could see that, but whatever. The rest of this isn't that important. That fire is really close to level up, so... Yeah, and go ahead and say that this is fine. And let's see, the poison's still got a ways to go. The lightning's pretty close, so let's just go ahead and do that. And not too good. Not too much else to be doing here at this time. I guess I will probably, you know, maybe one could argue it's not that beneficial during the boss fight with a single guy, but I am still going to throw Fury on everyone, including Yuffie. I think I was starting to say during the last episode, but ended up getting sidetracked by one of the many game things that occurs. But I do have, even though I'm not going to run her in my party, I have some interest in maybe getting her limit breaks going, because that, you know, she does that like pagoda thing after you do the Wutai side quest, and which gives you a summon. I mean, I think, yeah, it gives you the summon at her level 4, which you obviously don't care about, but, you know, I do like to get every materia, so it's one of those things where if I'm able, I try and do it after I do the side quest, but it's a lot easier to do it. I mean, just with summons alone, the first few guys are pretty NBD, but like when you actually face her father, like he's pretty tough, and that's where it's like, if you have one of her level 3s or whatever, you can just already, you know, like that alone can pretty much one-shot him, so, you know. So that, you know, that's part of the reason I am in fact running with a... Oh wait, no, I feel like these guys do fire. I think they do either do cures or fire. I could be wrong. A little rusty here, but either way, don't want to be accidentally healing them. Not quite enough. So I think a lot of these guys are gonna... Well, I guess it would probably be wiser to get an attack off than let them just self-destruct. I guess at least Bear could get the one. Yes. Glorious. Yeah, I still think Barrett's a little ways off of his grenade, whatever it's called. All right, looks like we're 53 minutes in. I think, let's see how we're doing. Okay, we're all healed up. Good. I think we'll, I mean, and there's no guarantees because, again, I didn't look it up beforehand. I might not get it in one go, but I think probably the ticket would be to try and do the Dyne fight and end it after that. So yeah, this guy was blocking the way before, but the way is in fact now open. I think Ifrit does more damage, and I don't really know that I think that these guys actually absorb fire. We'll find out either way, so this is gonna be educational. Yep. Nice and easy. Obviously, it would be good to top Barrett off before I go into the fight, especially since once I use his summons, and I do not think I'm going to fiddle with. You know what? Maybe I will. I was going to say fiddle with giving him more summons, just because I don't think it's necessary, but I guess it would give the summons more AP, which is, you know, not like it's of crucial importance that I level them up, but again, I'm going with a general thing that I think that they were saying to go northeast, so I'm gonna hope that will take me where I'm going. The thing with this is if you go too far in the wrong direction, you'll get a chocobo carriage, which will be like, oh, hey, friend, you're like out in the desert, you're gonna die. No, but not really, because it'll give you right back to the prison. Yeah, it's weird that there'd be a chocobo carriage just riding through the desert randomly, but, you know, quite handy if the alternative is dying. So these guys are rather tanky, so I'm gonna... And actually, I think since I'm probably gonna need a full MP myself anyway, I think beta might hit harder than summons. That would be where my money's at, but it would probably be, they'd probably be at the very least comparable. I guess we'll have a pretty good comparison here, since I'm gonna be doing both a beta and summon. The next chance I get, I'm definitely gonna want to be dropping that energy beam so I can get closer to the next limit break. Weirdo. A miss. Okay, well, it'll be pretty hard to compare in that case. Well, whatever. And it's still definitely, yeah, so obviously I'll be dropping the VII limit breaks when I get the option to, because it would still probably what's going to realistically end up happening is after I do the Wutai side quest, I'll probably just like KO my other party members and just do some quick Yuffie grinding outside of Wutai. Because if there's just one party member, it really doesn't take that long to get them to level 3 if you're just kind of focusing on it. So I think that's probably what I'll end up doing. But again, the more like random limit break points she can gain along the way, the less grinding I'll have to do later. So it's still definitely a very worthwhile endeavor. I will continue along to the east, hoping I'm going the right way, but with every screen doubting myself a little more. Oh, I believe that is the sign that if the next screen over there's like a junkyard, then huzzah. Oh, I did it in one. That's why I'm the best in the business. All right, I will just take a couple of seconds to, all right, she never had a summon materia to begin with. Let's see, what can he get rid of? I mean, yeah, this all isn't especially high, so. Yeah, it is, again, not like Dyne gives like a crazy amount of AP or anything, but it's nice to, you know, give AP, you know, because it does, and I'm not gonna say it makes a big deal, like, oh, you wouldn't be able to beat the boss otherwise, but for some of these like higher HP bosses that can withstand a number of summons, it just helps to have more like kind of ostensibly high damage options. All right, so here's the other man with the gun who's in fact responsible for the string of murders that we were thrown in prison for. Yeah, as we're about to see in this conversation, he's, you know, taken the loss of his wife very, very hardly, and is in fact, you know, cannot be reasoned with. So, you know, there's really only one choice here. I think we're definitely going to get the boss music. I think Dyne's worthy of a da-na-na-na-na-na. Been a little while since I've done it, but let's find out. It's too bad he didn't have the Barrett does not have the grenade launcher limit break yet, because I'll bet you he would get off a few rounds of it during this boss fight if he did. Oh right, he also is just like, yeah, he does. Also, he doesn't just say he's got to fight Barrett. He says he's got to kill his daughter too. I forgot about that. Yeah, clearly he's not super reasonable right now. I mean, we did see him just kill a bunch of random Gold Saucer employees, so we clearly, I think you can assume that he's, yeah, we do get the boss music. Definitely deserving of it. This is like really the only thing of this fight is Dyne hits kind of hard, and since if your one character is downed, you automatically lose. So, it behooves you to keep Barret topped off, but that's pretty much it. Otherwise, just gonna limit break when I have the choice, and once I've done all my summons, I'm gonna start hitting him with beta. Yeah, this hits for... I thought this was... I think he's got harder hitting ones, but I thought it was gonna hit a little harder than that. That was pretty embarrassing. I really cannot overstate how just absolutely pleased I am I didn't have to do the desert thing. And because I've had some times in the past where it took me like 2 or 3 tries to find it, even though it's really not that difficult. It's just like, I don't know, if you don't look it up or talk to those guys, you can easily get yourself a little mixed up there. There's also like a different, I don't know if it ends up mattering in terms of, I think you still make your way to the desert and can still ostensibly find it, but there's a different exit as well. It's not nearly as bad as that, is the nightmare that is that, snow area before you climb the mountain, but after the snowboarding segment. If you want to find the ribbon and Alexander and a few other things, there's so much wandering. It is just, of all the things in this run where I'm thinking, I really don't want to have to deal with that. That's, very high on the list. Probably what I'm going to do is, before I record it, I'm just going to, watch a few videos and just make sure I have a... You can never have a bullet, because it's not like there's a map you can really pull up. I know there's that kind of crappy map you find, but that's really not helpful. So yeah, I'm definitely just going to see, if I could just get off the right landing and follow simple instructions, because yeah, really the ribbon would be nice, but the only thing that I would absolutely want to get is the Alexander summon. And you can go back there, of course, later in the game, but it's still, it's still a pain later in the game. It's you might as well just get it over with, is kind of my view. So yeah, it's just more kind of, Dyne's just talking about how stained his hands are and all that stuff, and his daughter wouldn't even recognize him and all that, and can't go on like this. And I guess as much as Dyne's kind of clearly become a bad guy, at least he tossed you the amulet before he died. I know he did it just to give to his daughter, but that's what we showed to the guys. I guess we never even talked to them, but in that truck, that's kind of to the left of the building we met in to switch parties and stuff, and where Barret told the rest of the story. Yeah, there's a guy there. He's like, oh, if you want to get to the upper level to do a chocobo race, which is, by the way, you get pardoned if you, yeah, this is the guy right here. They teleport us right back to it. So, yeah. I gotta say, I made pretty good timing here with all this Coral Prison stuff. Not that this is a super lengthy segment, but I feel like it can take a little bit longer than it did this time. So pretty slick, gotta say. But anyway, yeah, there's only one way to get out of here. We gotta win a chocobo race, and so once we do that, I think we also get our name cleared. I don't think it's just that we win a chocobo race. I think because Dio gives us the dune buggy, and he writes us a letter. It's sorry about that murder mix-up. And we do talk to Dio later. It's not you guys are still a bunch of murderers. I think our names clearly get cleared. But yeah, they also just have some wacky system where it's you're a murderer, you get thrown in Coral Prison, but if you win a chocobo race, you're pardoned. It's kind of doesn't really sound like a very good justice system, I feel like. Oh, looks like I was gonna say I would. I was gonna just save. I think there actually still is a save point up here. Oh, right. It was, I'm not really gonna listen to this. There's really not too much to it. I think it's just like all about managing your. If memory serves, it's really just about managing your speed burst thing. And I think that kind of tapping it can be a good way to expend it without like burning it. But at any rate, really the thing to be aware of here is as far as missable materials go, I'm sure the keen eye would be drawn to the red orb on the right side of the room. So this is the chocobo. This is like the waiting room, obviously, where all the chocobo jockeys hang out, I suppose. And yeah, this is the only time we're ever in this room. So you'll get called in for a, they say, oh, wait here, and we'll call you when it's time to race. But yeah, you best be grabbing this Rama. I think is how you I don't really, it's Ramuh, but the lightning guy. And yeah, definitely want to be not missing out on that, because this is still the point in the game where summons are pretty godlike and a pretty considerable source of damage. So, you want as many as you can. So hopefully, just like the Coral Prison Finding Dyne, hopefully this will be another do it in one. It's not, the races are pretty quick, so kind of NBD. And this is definitely like, I think, an easier one. They can definitely get more challenging, but yeah, in any event, I think this should be pretty NBD. Oh, whoops. Oh, there's the speed hack. That's useful to know. I probably won't be doing that throughout the course of the normal game, but I guess once I start doing the like grinding in the North Crater, there's kind of no reason not to. Okay, I think this is because it's on automatic sequence. There we go. All right, I was not. Okay, you know what? Actually, I take it back. It's in fact that I was hitting the A button, the button the normal people think is go, but here we are. So yeah, you just want to. I mean, again, it's like if you hold it down, this stamina thing, it's slow to regenerate. You don't, and I think if you use absolutely all of it, then it gets excuse me, then your Choco gets like super fatigued. So you definitely want to save a little bit. You can also kind of try and body block, can be a nice thing to do a little bit. But yeah, you just want to try and have enough speed that you can, when you see the finish line, you can make it for it. I'm going to see how much body blocking I can get away with. Oh no, more Chocobos. This is looking a little rocky. Why is my stamina so bad and now I'm getting body blocked? Yeah, and this is like right towards the end too. Wow, this is humiliating. Oh, the physics. Oh no. And now I think I'm totally bugged out. I take this. Yeah, I look at, I've got the little fatigued animation. So yeah, that was not my best showing, but that's okay. And so now we have to serve out our full term in Coral Prison. That's how it works. So you get one crack, and I goofed. You really want to rub it in your face and circle around a few times. Just really tough break. Back to jail. What does it say on the door? Hill Express. I cannot read that. That's really difficult to make out. I think the first part definitely says Hill Express, though. Pretty confident about that. All right, she should be coming. Yep, there she is. All right. Well, this time I shouldn't be struggling with hitting the wrong buttons. That should be a step in the right direction. Yeah, I kind of think this is the ticket, is just, periodically just doing it for a short burst. Gets you, it doesn't really drain too much that way. And it'll gradually regenerate over time. So you just want to kind of what one wants to be doing is building up a big enough reserve that when you get to the home stretch, you can just burn all your. And yeah, I kind of burnt a little too much too early last time. So yeah, I'm gonna let off a little bit. Maybe if some of the other guys get a little closer, I could hit the gas a little more aggressively. I also wonder when she said, "Oh, let me see if you can." I mean, that could very well be a thing, is that you get better sad chocobos until you win. When she said, "Let me see if I can find you a better chocobo," that could have possibly not just been a line. It could have literally been that this is a higher quality chocobo. Either way, the only reward you get is your freedom, and yeah, if you get it in first race or second race, the only really reward for doing it in one is you don't have to do it again. But yep, we are pardoned of our several murders we were accused of, and we got a new summon, gonna get a buggy. Everything is, that was a little bit rocky for our party, but everything is looking up, I think, now. Yeah, apology. Yeah, so yeah, no, he very much realizes that you are in fact not responsible for the heinous crimes committed in the Golden Saucer, and yeah, we get a call from on the PHS system from Eris, who's Yep, so Gonaga will be our next destination, and that's a rather quick one. We get a new summon there and a little bit of backstory, and also an opportunity to get I guess I will keep this to the party so I can take the materia off. And we will also get an opportunity to get some negative Eris and Tifa rep, which is a valuable commodity when you're trying to date Best Girl Yuffie. But I think we can see Gonaga right there in the ruins of it. So what we're gonna do is, I forgot you could still get encounters in the buggy. I thought that was one of the perks, because with chocobos, of course, you don't have that to worry about. I wonder if these guys have an enemy skill, or if there's something about these guys. I think these are not the first guys I've incorrectly wondered about having enemy skills, but doesn't mean these guys don't. But so anyway, yeah, once we get rid of these guys, we'll pop out of the buggy, we'll get this materia off Yuffie, and as well as the coveted Shinra beta, and I will. Oh yeah, I guess I got a lot of materia reconfiguring to do now that that boss battle's done. But I'm probably gonna. I haven't obviously checked, but I'm assuming that the previous video should be finished uploading, and I think I might just take a short break and do a part 3 this evening. Whoops. There we go. So first we're gonna take these things back and take this back, and she may have a star pendant. And go ahead and actually, no, you know what? I take that back. I still am gonna save here, but yeah, I believe what we're supposed to do is because the way you get the negative points is when you go into the town, like they'll both leave the house after you talk to, I think it's after you talk to Zach's parents, and if you just leave Gonaga without talking to either one of them, they'll both give you negative points, which, again, that's what we're going for here. So anyway, let's go ahead and drop a save, and we will call it a day. Thank you for joining me, and look forward to part 9, where we will be doing this brief segment and probably doing Cosmo Canyon in its entirety. So stay tuned. Bye-bye.